Hello and welcome to the WrestleBuddy stream this week. I'm Xero, hosting this week for a change. We're obviously joined by Tyler and the owner of WrestleBuddy, Alex. Pleasure once again, you guys. How are we all this week?
Doing
All
fantastic.
good, all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we haven't got Bobby with us this week, unfortunately, but what a shame that is, isn't it?
No, it is a shame. Bobby brings an energy for sure.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
All right, so obviously two main things we said we wanted to bring up this week, wasn't it? So might as well start off with the lesser one before we start going into the rants about it. So new tag champions then at Payback this weekend. Obviously then the Judgment Day are the new undisputed tag team champions. What's your guys' thoughts on this one then? Brett?
I'll let Alex go ahead.
For me, it was a bit shocking, but I was expecting that they might lose because they both are a bit injured, I think so. They have some sort of issue. That's why they were getting pulled from the events also. Today also we saw that Kevin Owens was not there on Raw. So I think because of the injury, they did this thing. Because they were doing pretty good as tag champs. And they were advertised also to appear in the Indian live event. But I don't know now what they will do. Because the event is like day after tomorrow. And still there's no news that who is going to replace Owens and Zayn here in Indian event.
WWE sent out a post earlier saying it's still Owens and Zayn. It's just a non-title match. WWE actually sent out a post earlier on for the official Twitter account.
That's interesting.
It's still
That's
Owens and
very
Zayn versus what they're called, Jinder and no, not Jinder. What they're called, the
Imperium.
Whatever they are.
Imperium. Yeah. And I'm actually surprised to see that Judgment Day is currently ruling the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
But they are not coming to Indian event. Only Rhea Ripley is there. Cody Rhodes is not there. Finn is not there. Damian Priest is not there. Dominic is not there. I don't know what they are planning to do, or maybe there is some sort of surprise or something.
It might be, or unless obviously they're going to be on SmackDown, because don't forget, they've got for example, Cody's not going, is he? Because Cody's doing a dark match at SmackDown, so unless they're using him to cover some of the, they might be using them to cover a few people who are going over to India for it.
Okay.
That could be the main thing, because of course they can appear on every brand now, can't they? If you think about it, so as undisputed tag champs for it, so they could have.
It's all fascinating.
Yeah.
Right. It's weird though as well, because one of the things that I was going to say on this one as well before sorry to put in the title obviously before you got to say that, but it was just something.
Oh no, you're okay.
Was basically about the Kevin Owens injury and stuff. Originally on the plans for this week's Raw, Kevin was actually meant to be the one facing JD McDonough, but he was literally pulled 10 minutes before the match. They changed it around with Sammy 10 minutes before the actual start of Raw. So I don't know why that was, but Kevin was actually backstage. He was in gear. He was ready to go, and they just decided to literally pull him 10 minutes beforehand. So it's really strange because that's what was on the original plans. It was Kevin Owens versus JD McDonough. So unless the injury's worse than what everyone thought, and that's why they had to pull him, or they just decided to do the whole Sammy thing because of the whole Sammy and Jay connection and stuff. But it could be anything. Not really for it, I'd say. But yeah, so what do you think on it then, Tyler? Really?
It's all very intriguing. This whole Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn storyline, them being the tag team champions. I just think, like Alex pointed out, Judgment Day, I mean, they've had the momentum for so long. They need a group to kind of take over the brand. Monday Night Raw, they've got a lot of faith, obviously, in Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. And based on the reactions and the popularity they're getting as heels, has been amazing. And I think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, as much as I like the lengthy title reigns, I just think I'm afraid a lot of people are kind of getting tired of it because we've seen it for so long, where Judgment Day is still new. It's fresh. It's a up-to-date concept. So that's why I think the decision was made, just speculating as to why they won the tag team titles, and that street fight back at Payback. And I agree with it. At first I was surprised, but if you stop and think about it and kind of evaluate the creative, it's like, why not? It's a good way to have them all be champions and look, even more superior. And that's what they're positioning Judgment Day to be. And I'm for it because, my goodness, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Money in the Bank. You've got now, Priest with Balor as the tag team champions. Dirty Dom has just been unbelievable as whether he's, can teach people, what he learned in prison. Pardon me. I mean, it's all been terrific. So that's really my observations on the matter.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things I was thinking about, because as you go back and obviously listen to the promo that they cut this Monday, I actually listened to this back earlier on today, was Rhea obviously potentially called out the Bloodline, because she obviously turned around and said that they're a more dominant faction than the Bloodline. Now, if you go back to SmackDown, obviously Jimmy kind of wants to realign with the Bloodline again. So could this now be going down the route of, say, Jimmy and Solo versus Finn and Damian Priest, and they start kind of doing it that way, for example, and they sort of have that one, and then, Jay gets jealous of it all and everything, and Jay maybe joins it with the Judgment Day, and then that's then how they can do that. And then, because don't forget, they had Dom, didn't they, to man, say you're always welcome in Judgment Day. So could that be where they're leading to, is, Bloodline versus Judgment Day, Jay joins up with Judgment Day for a little bit, and that when Roman's there, and that's how they do it that way. So it's obviously it's those little things, obviously, which Triple H and that puts in, and the creative team and that put in to like keep you thinking to how they're going to do it. And it's just weird that they obviously haven't actually had anything to do with the Bloodline in ages, and then all of a sudden Rhea calls them out yesterday. It was just that little thing that just obviously just like snapped sort of in my head, which I thought about there really. So
I think it's a nice callback too. Not to interrupt you there, Xero, but it's a nice callback. Remember when Judgment Day and the Bloodline kind of really confronted each other without Roman, though. Solo and Rhea were having the face-to-face confrontation, so I could see where it was going. Plus, Paul Heyman was cutting a deal with them. So, hey, this is a good way to kind of maybe start the dominating factions, going to war with each other.
Yeah,
I would like to add one thing, that we might see, like Xero is saying, Judgment Day with Jay, and maybe somebody will join Bloodline also during the feud, and they will have a War Games match at Survivor Series. We might see.
Well, this is something obviously as well, and this is another thing which I was kind of bringing up, is because I was actually talking about it just before we came on, to record, was, obviously Adam Pearce's promo yesterday where he turned around and said about somebody being traded to SmackDown in the near future. Now, he obviously turned around and said it will annoy a lot of people for it. Well, obviously that wasn't his exact words, but it will piss off the locker room and it will piss off a lot of people. Now, obviously, this is WWE, and they're not going to make it as straight as, Cody gets traded, which is what everyone's thinking. I've got that niggling suspicion that it's going to be Sami Zayn. They're going to trade Sami to SmackDown for it.
Okay.
Have Sami go to SmackDown, which will then annoy Kevin Owens. That then instantly sets up a Kevin Owens versus Jay feud, because it'll be the whole thing of, Kevin gets annoyed, Jay comes out and does it that way. So that's then your Raw side covered. Sami could then potentially try and get back in with the Bloodline for it. So you've then got so what you have, you can have Sami, Roman, Jimmy, Solo as for that side, versus then Damian, Finn, Dominic, and JD McDonough on the Judgment Day side. That's your 4-on-4 War match, for example. There, I mean, it might not be Sami, but that's what I can see, really.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Kevin would get jealous again. He would not be trustworthy of the Usos due to the history with the Bloodline. So it would make more sense for Adam Pearce to send Sami Zayn over to SmackDown to kind of break it up a little bit.
Yeah, and do it that way. Yeah, and then obviously it starts off feuds, and then obviously then you can then potentially then lead into WrestleMania next year, where say you have, for example, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn again. Because that's always a big money feud for WWE. That's always a big money feud. That's a match which everyone's always happy to replay, no matter how many times it is. It's that whole thing of, as well, is like I was saying, everyone suspects it's going to be Cody because of the whole future trade thing, and that's how
Yeah.
Cody gets back to Roman. But WWE ain't going to make it that easy. They ain't going to make it that easy that they just trade Cody to SmackDown. It's going to be somebody who's going to change the dynamic of things. So again, you've got your Sammy. Heck, they might even trade Kevin. They might trade KO to SmackDown, for example, and then keep Sammy on Raw. And then obviously then Kevin gets annoyed on SmackDown. And that maybe joins up with the Bloodline just to piss Sammy off or whatever, in it really, or something like that, or to piss Jay off, or you never know. It could be something as easy as that, really. On that, so, but yeah, we've digressed now with the whole Judgment Day thing.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to shake it up though? I mean, that's just an honest question. If Sammy gets traded to SmackDown, or would you prefer somebody else?
I mean, it could be anybody, could it? Really? It could literally be anybody at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see it being as easy as Cody, personally, in my eyes. I've been told it's not Cody, but I can't get a straight answer to who it is. I keep getting told, it's like it's going to be Sammy or it's going to be someone like that. So, I mean, I can't see it being Cody at the end of the day, from what from it being that way.
It seems to be tough, other than him and Waller, but that was on a premium live event, so that was a little different. So, it's kind of hard to rack my brain that you would send Cody so soon. Mm-hmm. But you're wondering also, do they do it later though? Because I think didn't Cody post in his Instagram story about Roman? So it looks like maybe we get the rematch later on.
Maybe.
So there's also that.
Maybe Cody will win some sort of number 1 contenders match during the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that might happen.
I mean, what we're obviously forgetting is Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
the winner of the chamber gets to face the other person. So
Yes.
For example, maybe you have LA Knight or whatever win the Rumble. And then, LA Knight wins the Rumble, and that then goes on then to face Seth Rollins and challenges Seth Rollins at say WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship or whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is at that time. And then and then you can then have Cody then win the Elimination Chamber, go face Roman, and you do it that way. If they're obviously going to go down that route,
there's a lot of directions you could go. I mean, you guys are bringing up some good points I just wasn't thinking of at the time. I was just trying to see what you were saying with Cody possibly making a move to another brand, how that could be logical. But you guys just answered it, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's we've digressed the whole Judgment Day thing again. So that's fine. Well then, we might as well move on into the big story then of the week then. So CM Punk. I guess there's going to be quite a lot said on this one. So he got fired from AEW after the incident at All Out in London this past weekend, where him and obviously Jack Perry had that. Well, I don't even understand what really happened because there's different conflicting reports from it. Really, one person said they were face to face. The other report was saying like that they had words and everything, and it was all to do with glass, and it's ridiculous. Obviously. Jack's been suspended as well indefinitely, according to Tony Khan's tweet. But then CM Punk gets fired, which really makes no sense, to be fair. What's your guys' take on this whole CM Punk getting fired thing then from AEW? Not really.
I'll let Alex go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I have many things to say.
Okay. No, I was just trying to be the good steward here. My feelings are this story continues to grow, and it probably will. More of the reports that come out on what actually transpired. I'm with you, Xero. Who knows? We went there. We were not present, so it's hard to speculate and even realize what actually went on between Jungle Boy Jack Perry or whatever his name is anymore. They changed it so many times I can't even recall. But taking on CM Punk. To me, Tony Khan, I'm trying to look at it from both sides, though. I know it's easy to pick one or the other. I think Tony Khan did have to put his foot down, but I just don't agree with the termination of CM Punk. If you're going to do that, fire Jack Perry. Get rid of him. Or meet with him. I don't get this discipline committee. That's something that's a little sketchy to me. And I'm saying that respectfully. What is that?
Well, there was rumors on that disciplinary committee. It was Audrey, what's her name, the referee woman, Was it Aubrey Edwards?
Aubrey Edwards. Aubrey Edwards.
Yeah, it was
There you
Aubrey, Christopher Daniels, and a couple of other wrestlers as well, who it's mainly the EVPs. So obviously, if you're going to have the EVP saying it, you know, Christopher Daniels doesn't like Punk, and that the Young Bucks, they're EVPs, they don't like Punk. Of course, they're going to say get rid of him, aren't they? That's the thing. If that was this disciplinary committee that Tony Khan referred to, you knew that was going to be the outcome, really, from it. So, you know,
there's the problem. Yeah. I mean, you've got the executive vice presidents. That's where Tony Khan needs to step in and overrule them. You know, that's the problem. I'm not always defending Punk, by the way, but I'm trying to see where the line was. I mean, if Jack Perry's smart, you know, running his mouth is what I'm trying to say, and going up to a guy that's been a veteran, that's your star, and that's actually, whether you like him or not, shifting the focus back to wrestling, then Tony Khan should have met with him. I think he does need somebody that can be an advisor that can handle that if he's not willing to. I mean, I'm all for it. There's just a lot of areas that he needs improvement on, and I get it. I'm not controversial either. I wouldn't know how to handle it. So I'm speaking for myself as well. If I was ever in that situation, which I have not been, with all due respect to Tony Khan. This has always been an issue, though, with AEW, and I want them to succeed. I want them to do good. There's a lot of talent that I'm fans of with All Elite Wrestling, but once again, it's this organization that we see at times with how he handles the talent. It's too much one-sided. Like, I think there was reports, I don't know if they're true, maybe you guys can help me out, where Punk was supposed to meet with the Young Bucks, and they didn't show, or something happened. And that's what I'm saying, that when one side's not willing to at least hear the other out, or at least meet, you don't have to get along with people. It's just business. I mean, wrestling is, WWE has welcomed back a lot of people that Vince has not got along with, but he sees, hey, listen, they're going to draw money. If we were able to do business, you also have to look at it from that lens. And that's the only thing. Collision was actually enjoyable for me. I got to give Punk a lot of credit. If he was directing the creative, I would prefer that over Dynamite. And it's nothing against Dynamite. I went to a Dynamite in Nashville. Sure, a lot of people didn't like the show because of what was on it. But I just try to experience and take myself out of being critical. But that's what I'm seeing. Just too much of a trend. And then what Tony needs somebody who can do promos for him. I mean, I would be uncomfortable too. Just his look is very deceiving. And then when you say, well, I was scared for your life, of course people are going to attack you, because even if you didn't mean to look that way, it's not a good look. So he also needs somebody to do his PR. That's what I'm trying to get at. He needs somebody to step in and say, hey, listen, let me do this for you, boss. And that way, hey, you can take some of the heat off him. And there you go. But to say CM Punk's not going to respond, that's just not CM Punk. And to me, the fans you had that were wanting to watch him, it is going to hurt you. But you've got to find a balance. And I don't know. I mean, Tony Khan should have done something, but I think he's waited so long to do something that now we're seeing the results of that. I mean, and you know, I had a lot more to say, but I don't want to take up too much of the time because I want you guys to get your opinions in. It's just, I'm trying to see both sides of it before jumping to conclusions. But you can't help but think, if you're going to fire one guy, fire some others, or discipline them, suspend the Young Bucks, correct the Elite, because it's not just to knock them, but if they're in the wrong, have we not learned anything from the previous situation? And I don't know what it is about All Out or All In, but there always seems to be something going on. And I'll end it on that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is just before, obviously, we carry on. The worst part in my eyes that they done was, obviously, they fired him the day before one of their big pay-per-views in Chicago. And on the day of their Chicago show, you know, it came down the day of their Chicago show. Oh, our main star, which you come to Chicago to see, has been fired, really, and that. And to make it worse as well was the security there were confiscating anything CM Punk related, any posters. They were asking the fans to turn their CM Punk shirts inside out, otherwise they'd be refused entry. That's not how you run a business. You don't fire your top star from that area where you're literally doing your show and your pay-per-view the day of, and that, you know, or whatever. You wait and get that show out of the way and then you go down the firing route or whatever. It's bad business in my eyes, and especially upsetting the fans as well by saying, look, you take your CM Punk shirt off or you turn it inside out, otherwise you're not getting an entry. You could have paid front row seat prices, to come down and watch it all out. You've paid a lot of money. You're going down there, you're wearing a shirt that you want to wear, and you've got some random person saying, take that shirt off or turn your shirt inside out, otherwise you're not coming in. You could have paid hundreds of dollars for those front row seats, and it's bad business. It really is bad business by the company, and it's not really giving them that much good publicity at the moment, really. Anyway, I'll stop my rant there now. What's your thoughts on this, Alex? Because you said you had a lot to say on it, so yeah.
Okay, so I'll start from a bit from the past. I'll start when this all-out media scrum happened. From there, all things started. They had a backstage issue. Ace Steel was the main culprit who started this thing, and still the guy is in the company. Still the guy is in the company. He didn't get fired. Then the AEW fans, so-called fans, they come and they defend the elite. Without knowing the thing, what is right, what is wrong, they start defending the elite and talking shit about Punk. Finally, he comes back with the Collision. Collision was the show made specifically for Punk, because Bucks were not ready to work with Punk on Dynamite. So they created a new show. However, their Rampage is already inside a shit. But still, they created a new show for Punk. Punk came back. Everything was getting a bit fine. And like Tyler said, Collision was much better than Dynamite. Because in Dynamite, if you open, I feel it is like dark and elevation. Because they just throw random ass matches and they call it dream matches happening. For me, it is bullshit. That's why I only watch highlights. I never watch the entire Dynamite. Then you start Collision. After starting Collision, everything is going well, pretty well. The match happened. I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with this Jungle Boy. Who the fuck is he? Who knows him? Outside knows him. He's just a newcomer.
I'm not sure either. No.
And you are messing with a guy who is in the industry from the past 20 years. And then you got fucked up by that guy. He got fucked up by the guy. Whatever happened, we don't know the actual scene. And later, Punk got fired out of nowhere. Like Xero said, disciplinary committee. My ass, disciplinary committee. Young Bucks are the committee. Definitely they will tell them about fire.
Exactly.
Fire Punk. Definitely they will say this thing. Because they have issue with Punk from very long time. And the worst case, like Xero said, they are telling people to wear their shirt inside out. They are tearing up the signs and everything. You are in Chicago. It is Punk's hometown and you are doing it. And more worst, when this idiot, why I call him Koki Khan? There's a reason behind that. Because I told you guys, he take coke through his ass and he speak from his mouth. That is the main issue. He said that his life was in danger. How the fuck your life was in danger? How?
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, how many more arguments have they had backstage, really, from it? It's like, how many more times have they apparently been in danger? He's got loads of wrestlers around him.
Punk takes out a gun.
Don't understand it. Oh, I'm so scared. I've never wrestlers get in fights. Yeah.
Number one, this Tony Khan should know how to talk in camera. He will talk like this. You will see the camera. His eyes are like this. Yeah. Yes, my life was in danger. Yes, I feel. Idiot. What do you know? What do you know?
That's what I'm saying. He needs somebody to do that for him.
Yeah. He should understand what he's saying, because by chance, if Punk will sue them, and definitely I think he will sue them after this incident, this statement will become huge. He said that his life was in danger. He is having a fight with Jack Perry, not Tony Khan. And by chance, if he's hitting like one punch just come nearby also. Just imagine that something happened like that. How the fuck your life was in danger?
But
I have no idea. I still
Yes.
don't get it.
what I was thinking was as well was obviously when he said that was he felt his life was in danger at the event,
Yeah.
all
Yes.
in and that. You had stars which are twice the size of CM Punk there. You had wrestlers backstage twice the size of CM Punk.
Is it Samoa Joe there?
Yeah, Samoa Joe
Yes,
there. So,
yes,
so it's like
yes.
someone who
I
could
mean, my
easily
gosh,
knock
come
out
on.
Punk if needed to, wouldn't it? So, it's
Dude, Samoa Joe is this much huge, na. If Samoa Joe will fart, na, Jack Perry will fly.
Yeah, Samoa Joe could do
Huge.
the chokehold on him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
The
to me, you're
entire
when
scenario,
you're
this entire
yeah,
scenario
go ahead.
bullshit. It is just bullshit. They fire Punk, and honestly saying, I am a Punk fan, but I was not liking him in AEW. Why? Because he was continuously taking shots at WWE for no reason. And I have seen this thing in AEW that every single person who jumps ship from here to there, they start taking shots to the company from where they become famous. It is their habit. You can see Miro when Miro joined, Miro talked shit about WWE, and what AEW did to him, he got fucked up for an entire year.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous, isn't it?
I am a Punk
Never
fan, but
understood
I am
the
not
logic.
liking him there. Next thing, he is just, they make him a disgrace in the company. They humiliate him. They legit humiliate him and throw him out of the company. And now these fans are coming and defending this company, this AEW. Punk was cancer, this, that, and all. This, for by chance, this Punk will come back to WWE and the ratings will go up like this. He was the top merchandise seller. He was the only needle mover in the company. If the elite is so big, if the elite is so famous in the world, then why they don't get 1 million viewers every single week on Dynamite? Till Punk was there, everything was fine. When Punk got injured, the viewership go like this. How?
No, he elevated everything. You're exactly right.
Yes.
And heaven forbid we push this guy and let him have creative. He's only been in the industry so many years. That's what I don't understand about Tony. And that's why, right or wrong, people are going to take shots at him for these kind of decisions. Yeah, I don't know what I'm just a fan myself. But even from an outsider's point of view, it's glaring. I mean, come on. This guy is helping resurrect your company. And you're going to act like, oh, he's a cancer. You're going to let Dave Meltzer and all these guys put these narratives out like they were there.
Yes.
They got it from the Young Bucks. Let's be honest. It was Kenny and all them and all their friends and Jack Perry because, he's going to come up to somebody. I don't blame Punk. Now, Tony Khan needs to do something about it, but you got Samoa Joe. You got all these other talent like you guys are saying. Somebody do something. And I think Joe he calmed down Punk or may have done more than what he needed to do if that was necessary from him. It's just, I don't understand it. I think people liked it because Punk and Joe had they had an actual wrestling match. I'll give Jericho credit. Him and Ospreay had a good match. The main event between MJF, Adam Cole, if we're looking at All In, I didn't get to see All Out. But it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. I'll still watch AEW. But after all of this, I'm like, if you're going to let the wrestlers tell you what to do, I think that's been the whole problem with Tony Khan. And a lot of promoters, not just him. I know you gotta set this precedent. Oh, don't we all need to get along. Well, so do the people that are supposedly in charge, the Young Bucks. And I don't care. I've tried to be fair to those guys, but now this may be storyline. When they didn't shake FTR's hands, I'm like, gosh, these guys are really douchebags. Because FTR is obviously the better tag team. Yeah, go ahead, Xero. That's my soapbox a little bit.
Did you see the other celebratory things that happened afterwards as well? After I think it was on Saturday. It was either Saturday or it was at All
Victory
Out.
lap.
They done a victory lap in there.
Yes.
And also Being the Elite as well. Did you see what they've done on Being the Elite this week?
Yes.
No.
On Being the Elite, obviously it was Kenny and the Young Bucks, and they had they'd done a segment where Kenny went and drank a bottle of Pepsi. He literally picked up a bottle of Pepsi,
Okay.
spat it out, and turned around and said that it tasted toxic and everything like that. And it was like, everyone was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And that, you know, all these AEW fans were like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But it's like, you know, the whole Pepsi thing, you know, obviously CM Punk's meant to be the Pepsi man, isn't it? And stuff like that. And that's obviously why they've done that. And the stupid thing is that they're pushing it too far now with the whole Pepsi thing and that on being the elite and the victory lap and everything. You know, just if it is going to go down the legal route, and like what Alex was saying, CM Punk is definitely going to end up suing. He's going to end up suing from this because obviously he's been released.
Yeah, and he's got reason to.
Yeah, and all of these little shots and that they've been doing, you know for a fact they'll be brought up. So the victory lap will be brought up, which is there's video evidence of that. You know, the being the elite Pepsi thing, that will come up and everything as well. And it's going to cause a lot more problems for the company now than if they had just simply just gone, you know what, suspend Punk for 30 days or 60 days or whatever to let him calm down. You know, suspend Jack for 60 days to let him calm down and then bring them back. That would have been a much easier way to do it rather than just firing CM Punk and then doing all these shots and that towards him afterwards. You know, it's the worst mistake they could have done, because obviously where he's been fired as well, Punk will have no non-complete cause now, so he could literally roll up to WE or whatever. And you know, I was saying this to somebody the other day, is the final nail in the coffin for AEW could literally be if Triple H gave CM Punk a live mic and just said, go out on Raw, you know, go out at Survivor Series in Chicago, you know, show up at Survivor Series in Chicago with a live mic, you know, a WWE pay-per-view, 60,000 or whatever there, which is going to be packed out, CM Punk with a live mic in Chicago. That is going to kill that. That's going to kill the Chicago market off for AEW, definitely. Especially if Punk literally goes out with a live mic and says says the truth and that, and you know, if there's no restrictions for it. And I personally can see Triple H allowing him to do that. If he does come to WWE, I can see Triple H allowing him to do that, and he'll make sure he does it in Chicago. That's the thing, to like try and do that final nail in coffin for AEW for it, and that would just be one of those things for it. But that was going to be something as well. Was, can you guys actually see Punk showing up in WWE, or do you reckon he's done, or what sort of ways do you?
He will join. So? And
I think he'll be there.
I think this incident is the beginning of the end of AEW. I always say from the beginning that this is WCW and TNA.
Yeah.
How they ended up because of the backstage issues and the politics, this company will end up like that only. No matter how much money this Tony Khan have, but this company will go down like WCW and TNA.
There's no structure. I mean, that's one thing. People can knock on all these other promotions, including WWE, but you can say what you want. And I've been critical on WWE too, but they've got structure. They're showing their experience, that they can handle these situations where you can see it with a young upstart company like AEW, and taking nothing away from what AEW was able to accomplish. But unfortunately, these headlines did just that.
Yes.
With the whole news. And it's not thanks to Punk. It's thanks to AEW themselves letting the elite leak information, because you can't be telling me Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, all these guys are not taking info from their friends that are the All Friends party, and just to bash Punk. Yeah, and I'm going to say it. I don't care. I may not be anybody to them, but I'm just, anybody could see that a lot of this is on Meltzer and those guys too, because they get this information out like Punk's this evil villain when he's the guy helping the company. You don't think if somebody comes up to me and I've got the experience and knowledge of Punk, and maybe I'm just having a bad day, I'm like, hey, listen, you didn't tell me you were going to talk about the glass. Okay, we don't have to go outside. I'm going to put you in a chokehold, and I'm going to teach you how to wrestle, because obviously you don't know anything. And that's what Punk did. I could see that happening, knowing how Punk is. And people love controversy. That's why he drew. Even if he was in the wrong, people want to show up to hear what he's got to say. And it just, I'm beyond disbelief why you don't capitalize on it. I mean, like Xero was saying, suspend Punk, suspend Perry, but don't fire Punk. Now, you've hurt the Chicago market, but I did hear on Jim Cornette's podcast, which is great, by the way. He did say this, that now that Punk may be relieved, because he was obviously frustrated with AEW. So this may actually have worked out.
Yeah. One of the other things as well that people obviously haven't took into account, and this is obviously just popped into my head now, is they've obviously fired their top star, which, as Alex was saying, was bringing in ratings and everything like that. They haven't got their new TV deal yet. They've still got to get their new TV deal now. TNT could literally see that, or whoever it is now, TNT, TBS, or whatever, could literally see that and be like, well, we promised you an extension, providing you could bring in the ratings. You've just fired your top star who was bringing in those ratings. You're not getting an extension or whatever, or you are. You can get it, but it's going to be half the money what you've got now. And then what's that going to lead to? That's then going to lead to releases and stuff like that, and things like that. So Tony's made a very bad move with doing it. Mm-hmm. Really.
Well, wasn't it? To your point, wasn't it Warner Brothers Discovery that wanted? Yeah, they demanded he be.
Yes,
I mean, to your point,
yeah. So now, like I said, where they still obviously haven't finalised it, and it's not being finalised till 2024. If those ratings don't increase now for the rest of the year, that could literally be. They might not even get the renewal at all. They might not even have a TV deal next year, or whatever. And then, where would AEW end up? Ring of Honor Club, and that streaming, Ring of Honor Club streaming service. That could be, the only place where they can really get it, because no other networks will touch them. That was why they had to go to Warner Brothers, because the rumor was no other networks would touch them because of the relationship with WWE and and everything like that. So it's that Tony's caused more problems for himself now, I'd say, than anything else really, and that. So
he's created chaos. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That they have this TV deal now with this TNT. That the same thing happened with TNA back in the day when they had the Spike TV deal. Till they were in Spike TV, the ratings were pretty good. It was really, really good. But when the TV deal got over and they changed to, I think, this Access or some TV, then they started going down slowly. And there was a point of time when the content was pretty damn good, but the viewership was like dead. It was completely dead. And if Tony will not fix the issue in his company, they will go down on the same way. And by mistake, Punk sues them, the company will be fucked. Straight.
Yeah. I mean, one of
they'll be in trouble.
Yeah. One of the mistakes that Tony's obviously given is to give, like, as people are saying online, it's letting the inmates run the show. It's obviously it's letting the Young Bucks run the show, letting them say what they want to do. Letting them, fine. They've had the years in the wrestling experience from like Ring of Honor and stuff like that, but have they ever ran a company? That's the thing, isn't it? They don't actually have experience of running a company. They don't know the business ins and outs and stuff. And they might have worked. They might have worked for a company for several years, and they might be veterans and that in the business. But there's being a wrestler, and then there's being an owner. You can't have somebody say, for example, like, I don't know, seeing as obviously because of the name of the stream, LA Knight. Oh, LA Knight suddenly buys WWE off Endeavor. Oh yeah, he's got massive years of experience, hasn't he, of running a company, but and that it's sort of like that. You just have a wrestler, somebody who's only ever wrestled for all their life, randomly come in and have a massive say in the company. It's you have no experience in that for it, and you've got Tony, who's never actually had experience of running a wrestling company anyway, and that basically playing wrestling companies in that at the moment. Using fancy booking and stuff like that of matches, and then like the Young Bucks and that obviously having a massive say who they want to face, and you've got Jericho doing the same, Christopher Daniels doing the same. You've got a referee in the business who has a hell of a lot of say in the company as well, which whenever have you ever seen a referee have so much say in the business? That's the thing.
And why? I would ask.
The thing is, the way Tony runs the company is like WWE Universe mode in 2K23. Throw up matches. He runs like that. There's no storyline. Like 50 to 60% of the content of the Dynamite is like they just throw up some random matches. No storyline, no character development, nothing. Daniel Bryan comes out of nowhere, Kenny Omega, dream match. Why? Don't know. And after that, what happened to that rivalry? We don't know.
No,
At
we
least
still don't.
continue. At least continue. And
Yeah,
I'll say Tony did like very bad mistake. Okay, you fired Punk because of the political pressure, I will say, the backstage politics from the Bucks and all. Still, that was fine. Still, the company was safe at that point of time. There was no need to Tony to come out on the stage and give his weird ass promo and then come on camera and say that my life was in danger. There was no need.
bad look.
People are supporting him. Say that yes, there was a need to fire him. No, bro, it is not good. You already fucked up everything.
Yeah.
And now you are fucking up more.
Yeah.
Well, and veterans respected Punk. Yeah, I mean, and now they're.
Yes.
What's that say about Tony Khan? I mean, Sting, FTR, a lot of the different ones, valued Punk, and now they're going to be thinking, okay, well, we trusted Tony, but now we see where this part of the locker room is going to control everything. I mean, think about Darby and Christian Cage were over on Collision when it made sense, not that they needed to be all the time. That's what I mean. Like Alex was saying, Dynamite's kind of a mess where, heck, Collision felt like it flowed, like they were keeping up with storylines, and unfortunately, that's something else that, I watched Collision after Punk got fired, and I'm like, okay, this will be interesting, and it's like it is kind of like Dynamite all over again. That's what I was afraid of, and now we suffer because I was starting to put over Collision. Now I'm going to have to start putting it down again. Of course, I will say one saving grace is FTR. And Bullet Club Gold are still doing some good stuff. That is the right spot.
I mean, the question is now, though, obviously going on that is how long do you reckon FTR will last now? Now that Punk's gone, are they going to ask for their release? Are they just going to walk or whatever? Because I mean, at the end of the day, their main reason for staying on was Punk, and now that he's gone, if say for example Punk joins WWE, are they going to want to follow him? Are they just going to say to Tony like, we want out? And that, and then buy themselves out of their contract or whatever, and then just follow Punk wherever Punk goes, because that's the next big problem is he could lose a hell of a lot of wrestlers here. Like a lot of them could either refuse to re-sign or whatever, really. So he's not just screwed things up for Punk and some of the fans and stuff. He's potentially screwed up a hell of a lot of things for a lot of wrestlers now. Really, as well.
I feel Xero that 2024 will be the worst year for the company. I think many people will walk out and many will not resign. Maybe they will go to Impact or New Japan if they will not come to WWE. But definitely they'll leave AEW because of this situation. Because now it is clearly visible that this specific people are running the company. It is not only Tony Khan. It is not only Tony Khan.
Yeah. Whilst we're on the Punk stuff anyway.
People can see it's elite.
Yeah. Whilst we're on the Punk stuff anyway, something's come down whilst we've been recording. It's from PW Insider. It's on their Elite section. I'll read it off a minute. It's quite a lengthy one, so I'll try and short it down the best I can do. So it's, like I said, it's PW Insider Elite, and they're reporting that Punk has been a top topic of discussion within WWE from the second he got fired. The responses backstage have been pretty divided, where some in WWE see it as a chance for the promotion to make a lot of money. With one top talent, it doesn't obviously name the talent, it just says with one top talent that's going as far as endorsing the idea of bringing Punk in. Many were said to be against it and didn't believe it would happen. However, it turns out Punk joining WWE would be a discussion saved for later, as at the minute they're just waiting to finalise the merger with Endeavour. Which as soon as that's obviously done, then that could obviously be in good standing as well, because Punk had obviously previously worked for Endeavour during his UFC time, and it would actually be ultimately up to Endeavour whether they sign him or not. And Punk's actually really in there with the top bosses of Endeavour. They really like Punk, so it seems like that they might obviously want to sign him for the whole money side of it. And at the end of the day, if they want to sign him, if your boss is telling you somebody's coming on in, you're going to like them whether you like them or not, innit, really? You know, that locker room, the WWE locker room is a lot more divided than the AEW locker room. And they would just get on with it and just realise it's business. You know, just keep Punk to one side and that, really, for it. It's also been reported on here as well that other promotions such as Impact Wrestling were also said to be interested in Punk as well, although it's unclear whether they would be able to afford him. As far as New Japan Pro Wrestling, it is believed the promotion would not pursue Punk due to their relationship with AEW. Punk has been released with no non-compete clause, meaning he can sign with anywhere at any time. So, by the sounds of it, Endeavour really, really want him, really want him in for it. And now he's obviously now got this non-compete clause. I could potentially see him showing up at Survivor Series, in Chicago, and just imagine the scene. Roman's just destroyed somebody else, maybe an AJ Styles or a Bobby Lashley. He's holding that title up in the air, and then all of a sudden you just hear Cult Personality blast out. That place would need a new roof. People say they hate it.
I hope he shows up.
But if Cult Personality blast out, face to face with Roman in Chicago, that place is gonna explode, and that.
They'll break all the records. They'll break all the records if that match will happen in any pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, scrap Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. You do CM Punk versus Cody. You do CM Punk versus Roman at WrestleMania. That's your money match there.
And just imagine Punk dethrone Roman. Just by any chance, Punk dethrone Roman.
Yeah, that
would be something.
That would be the talking point, and that would also be the ultimate, fuck you to AEW. Having Punk beat the top star in WWE, who's been on top for ages. And that is you have him come in and obviously do that, and then that's that massive. That literally would be the final blow. That would be that literally would kill the company off. Tony Khan would literally have a heart attack.
I would think so. We all want AEW to succeed, but that's the issue. You've got this one side that's just, if you go against them, you're in trouble. You're in no man's land. And Punk knew it, because I think, hadn't there been reports, I know it's all speculation, but that he wanted to enter the Royal Rumble this year back when he was suspended before. He was trying to, maybe that explained why he was backstage, or at least attempting to get backstage at Raw when it was in Chicago a while back. He was wanting to, that first suspension talk with Triple H about maybe, hey, listen, they've got me suspended. Hey, is there any room, or who knows? You can only just maybe wonder what those conversations were like. But at least there was news, maybe Kevin Owens, and
obviously, I don't know which one would be the better scenario for if they did obviously bring Punk into WWE. Would it be better to have him come out in Chicago, for example, or would it be better to have him as a surprise number 30 in the Rumble? That's the thing, surprise number 30 in the Rumble, have Punk come out then, or have him just randomly show up in Chicago. Which one do you reckon would be the better idea, really, if WWE did obviously bring him in? What do you guys think on that one, really?
They're both good, Alex.
I'll go with the number 30. But if he's coming in number 30, then he have to win the Rumble and challenge Roman. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, Survivor Series is fine for me.
I think the reaction would be incredible at Royal Rumble, but being in Chicago, I could see where that would work out too.
Yeah.
So both scenarios sound good.
Yeah. That's something there. Yeah. Well, I think that's enough on the Punk situation then for the minute. Then. Anything else you guys want to bring up, or anything like that really for this week? Or
actually, this entire week was Punk only everywhere. That's why we just talk about Punk.
It's going to dominate the news.
Yes.
Everything CM Punk. It's up to you two. I have not really followed, because it's been so CM Punk dominated. There's not been much of it.
Yeah.
I'm also following this news only.
Do you have a bit of sort of stuff that's obviously happened this week? Is obviously we've had the return of John Cena in WWE. He obviously showed up Friday and stuff, didn't he? And
true.
Obviously he had the match with LA Knight. No, he did have the match, did he? He was special guest referee at Payback. Obviously, we
Right.
had that funny segment with The Miz yesterday on Raw, where obviously The Miz was pretending that John Cena was there. I don't know why people were saying he was pretending. I could see John Cena. I don't know if anybody else could see him, in that ring.
Yeah, well, that's not the real John Cena. You can't see me. Come on.
And injury update on John after that massive vicious attack that happened to John. He's fine and he will be in India on Friday. So he'll be there, Alex. Don't you worry. John Cena will be in India on Friday after that massive attack by The Miz.
Yes.
He's fine. He's fine. He'll recover well.
Good.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else
Actually, and now again, Punk news
Cena
is
was the
coming
big
out.
one.
Yeah.
Now this PW Insider news. Now this PW Insider news will be there for 2-3 days, which Xero told us right now. Because I was also checking. That thing is trending now immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes.
But I'm glad you brought up John Cena because that is pretty monumental. I'm glad we did touch on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because obviously, because Cena's now going to be banked for every week through to end of October now, I think it is. Every SmackDown there. There's been a couple of reports that he could actually be on a couple of Raw shows and that, but I've just personally heard he's going to be doing SmackDowns for a little while. Just obviously get.
And I think we got it. Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you. I think we can thank the writer's strike over here in Hollywood. I think that's why it's allowing him the opportunity to get back to WWE.
Yeah. All we need now is we need the big, brown, bold guy, to come on in and challenge his cousin at some point at WrestleMania, to be the true tribal chief. That's what we need now. He's got no excuse.
Yes.
He's not filming anything at the moment. We just need to hear that iffy smell when The Rock is cooking just once. Just come on in, do that challenge. He's got nothing else going on. Bring him in.
They can do like that when Cena versus Rock happened. That they decided the WrestleMania main event 1 year prior.
Yeah.
They can do that. That this year when Roman defeats someone, so Rock comes out, challenges him. Next day, they finalize the main event of 41.
Yeah.
And it will be like something else. The ticket sales will be like immediately it gets sold out. When Rock versus Roman will happen.
It'll be huge.
That will, you announce Rock versus Roman and that for WrestleMania 41. That's those tickets sold within an hour.
Yes.
that's the event sold out within an hour.
Yeah, we'll finally get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Rock can't use movies as an excuse now. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I can have the match.
Now he have ample amount of time.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is, and again, I was saying this to somebody earlier on. People are saying, the bloodline story needs to end. This whole tribal chief story needs to end. It can't end until Roman faces The Rock. That's the ultimate end goal.
Yes.
Is even if you can't face him, you need that appearance from Dwayne to finally end it. Whether it's video package, whether it's just appearance, or whatever.
Dwayne is the boss fight for Roman Reigns. He's the boss fight.
Yeah. Your two options for it is you either have Roman face Rock, and then Roman can then happily drop the belts then, or you have Roman leave the company as the champion. I can't see anyone really. You can't end that storyline without The Rock being involved or Roman retiring with those titles. That's your two end goals.
I think you got to have Rock.
Yeah, you've got to have Rock to be able
I'm in
to
agreement.
They have to bring him.
Yeah, there's nothing else there. That was one other thing as well, actually, what I was looking at beforehand. There's obviously been a lot of discussions going around about next year's Hall of Fame and Bray Wyatt headlining it. What do you guys think on that? Do you reckon that obviously that he should be put in as the headliner for next year, or is it still too soon, or what really? What do you what are you guys sort of take on it? On that one, really? Anyone?
I think he should. I mean, it may be.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, you can say Tyler. You can say.
No, that was the only thing. I know it seems early, but I'm almost wondering if he should. Even though I know it's in Philadelphia, we've heard maybe Paul Heyman, and I think that's a great choice too, and a lot of the ECW people. But I think after the circumstances, knowing how much he meant to everybody, I think Bray could be a sure thing with the headline. So I don't think it's too soon. That's all I was going to insert.
Yes, Bray should headline. Bray should headline next year's Hall of Fame for sure. For sure.
I mean, yeah. If anything, they should have either Bo induct him in, or I don't know who else it could possibly be. I don't know who they could have induct him in. Either Bo or maybe Taker. You could have Taker induct him in, or something like that, couldn't you? Or,
yes.
I don't know. Yeah, one of them.
That would be great.
They'd be the best ones to obviously induct him, I would say,
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
Can't really think of anyone else really who else they could really do for it.
No, I mean,
Taker is the best
you
choice.
think about his friends, but yeah, Undertaker, it's such a revered name. I mean, it would make sense.
And the last appearance of Wyatt on Raw was with Taker only, where he passes the torch kind of moment was there with LA Knight and Bray. So I think Taker is the best choice. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be the best one. Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up, Alex?
I want to add one theory, just to complete 1 hour. To complete the 1 hour thing. Like we were talking about Punk, so let it have Roman versus Cody or Roman versus Rock, whatever will happen. Punk return, he wins the Rumble, he challenges Seth Rollins for the title at WrestleMania, because Seth said many things about Punk in an interview. That will be like a great match for the title, and Punk dethrone Rollins at WrestleMania.
And then they face each other and have a history in Ring of Honor going back that long.
Yes.
Punk and Rollins. They
and when Shield was there, I think so. When Shield was there, I think that time also some confrontation happened that time. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, the only other way which they could make that even more better is if they replayed the whole Seth and Cody sort of storyline, where Seth's waiting for an opponent. Like, Seth doesn't actually have an opponent in WrestleMania. He comes out, he's waiting in the ring for it, and then all of a sudden, Punk's music hits and that at WrestleMania, and they actually hold off on Punk's debut until Mania, because that's obviously what the biggest stage of them all, and that, Punk then gets his WrestleMania main event that he wanted to do, night one main event. You have Seth Rollins come out and practically do like an open challenge to anyone on the roster. You're thinking it's going to be somebody who's currently on the roster, someone like Gunther or a Drew or someone like that, and then bang, CM Punk music hits. That could be
that would be great.
Like the whole Cody thing, wouldn't it?
Yes. And I have one idea because of this discussion. In the coming weeks or something, whenever we have time, we can do a early WrestleMania prediction show where we predict the card.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would say.
When Bobby's coming back on 25th, we'll do that together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming up to the hour mark anyway. Then, so we've run out of topics as well. So we might as well end this one then. So normally it's Tyler asking me this one, but I'll say this one first of all then. So Tyler, where can we find you? And do you want to promote yourself really for the minute then?
Sure. You can find me at Dustin Tyler 86 on Twitter, and of course at WrestleBuddy. And I've got a new podcast I'm excited about on the SJP World Media Network called Tyler's Takedowns. I try to get creative, but it's a pretty basic name. But I'm going to be looking at old territorial stuff with modern wrestling. So changing it up a little bit, even though it's all pretty wrestling related. So, that's pretty much it for right now, where you can find me. Twitter, that's the main source. So I appreciate that. That's where people can find me. They can be scared of me. They can laugh at me. But, hey, they'll find me on there. So there you go.
And Alex, obviously, WrestleBuddy. Where can we find WrestleBuddy? Well, where can everyone find WrestleBuddy and stuff like that? And is there anything else that you obviously want to promote and everything like that on here? And
you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are everywhere. Subscribe our channel, please. And we are going to attend the live event, the Superstar Spectacle. So most likely we are going to share some videos, some exclusive videos, photos, and all these things on our Twitter page and Facebook page. Yeah. So yes, subscribe.
Yeah. We will obviously retweet them as well here at Xero News. Again, we can be found at News Xero on Twitter, or x.com as it is now. Instagram as well, the same at, so that's at News Xero. Our website, zeronews.co.uk. Yeah, that's me done then. Yeah, great show, I'd say, this week. Anything else that anyone wants to bring up before we come off, or that really? I'd say.
I mean, it's got it for me.
And for me then as well, and yeah. Right, and we'll see everybody next week for another Let Us Talk to You. Yeah, I'll do the yeah for a change. Yeah, and yeah, see you next week, everybody. This is Xero signing out.